Hello guys, gals and gamers, and welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about a very weird byproduct of our modern society. That is corporate fanfiction, or if you want to put it nicely, we're talking about Nintendo Directs. But before we begin, I would love to remind you guys to please like and subscribe. If we hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year, I will do a very special livestream dissecting the game design behind the most disappointing game I have ever played. Also, leave a comment down below because I really want to start a discussion with my video. Summer Games Fest has come and gone, and we didn't hear much about Nintendo. Yes, we did hear something about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and some a few Switch games, but not whole Nintendo. There's still a lot of Nintendo plans that we just don't know for this year, and I still think there is a Nintendo Direct coming this month, so that's why I'm kind of making this video. But there might be a Direct, there might not be. I'm still going to make this video, and it's not going to be like Nintendo's replacement E3 Direct. I do not think it will be like big, so I wouldn't expect too much out of it if it happens. Again, still might not. So I'm gonna dissect my predictions into a few categories, like the pretty much guaranteed stuff, if it happens even, then some kind of likely stuff that we could see, unlikely category also, or the wild stuff like wild predictions, or ooh, this one might happen. And then we're gonna end this video with like the no-show stuff that you definitely should not expect to see in the direct, or games that you might think might show up but actually probably will not. And let's go into the first category, which is the very likely category. So games that will be seeing in this direct. And the first one I want to start out with is actually a pretty weird one. You might have not heard about this game. It is called Dragon Quest Treasures, and this is actually a really important game. Not because what the game is, but as an evidence that a direct might happen. Because we don't know much about Dragon Quest Treasures. It is kind of a spin-off to Dragon Quest XI, following a few characters that we met in that game, and it's kind of a spin-off-y title. But the important thing here is to know that the last time we saw Dragon Quest Treasures is that at the end of the trailer they said, find out more about Dragon Quest Treasures in June 2022. And we have had the Summer Games Fest already and no one spoke about it. So there might be a new Dragon Quest Treasures trailer coming up, or there is going to be a new Nintendo Direct which has Dragon Quest Treasures. So that's why it is in the very likely category. Personally, I don't really care about Dragon Quest, so yeah, let's move on. Then, I think we will also see a Splatoon 3 segment. It is another one of those like Nintendo games that are coming really soon, and we don't know that much about it, I feel like. I have definitely been on the front side saying that we need to see more of this game. We need to get some information like what makes this game special. A lot of multiplayer titles kind of struggle with making a direct sequel. You can see this in Overwatch 2. People are saying this doesn't feel too much different than Overwatch 1, that this should have been just an update. Same thing happened with Splatoon 2. People were saying, okay, it's on a new console, some new stages, but it basically looks the same, it feels the same, blah, 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 blah. And of course there's going to be differences, but why are you making a sequel to like a multiplayer title, and especially on the same console? That is weird to me. And that's why we need to see more. And what I would like to see is the new idols. I love seeing Splatoon characters and new modes. We definitely need new modes. The Salmon Run trailer that we got a couple of directs ago, that was incredibly disappointing and just looked like a Splatoon 2 update. So I'm a little bit worried about Splatoon 3. Still gonna probably buy the game, so who cares about me. Next up is Mario Kart 8 DLC. We are having like the Wave 1 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC has already released, and we're supposed to get everything by the end of the next year, I think. But we haven't heard anything else. What's going to be in this new pack? What is going to be in this total? We're going to get a lot of waves, so I think wave 2 could be shown a trailer of in the next direct, and then maybe even shadow dropped the same day. That would be very interesting to see. Another game that has been surprisingly missing, I feel like, has been Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. It's a game made by Ubisoft, of course, using the Mario characters, so it's not going to show up anywhere else than Nintendo. Maybe if Ubisoft had their own thing, but I don't think they had this year. So Mario plus Rabbids 2 would be a very interesting thing to see in an upcoming Nintendo Direct. Then we should not forget about the Nintendo Switch Online service. And I think they will not spend too much time on it, maybe reveal some classic games coming to the service, blah blah blah. But I think we will just get some DLC dropped into the service. Like, hey, you will get Breath of the Wild 1 DLC if you get Nintendo Switch Online. And I would very much love to see also Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country being also dropped to the Nintendo Switch Online service. And finally, I think we are going to see a Square Enix RPG being remade that you have never heard of. This happens all the time, what the hell is Live a Live? I have never heard of this. How is there suddenly 5 different Secrets of Mana games? I don't know, but somehow they keep finding these. Chrono Cross, apparently Chrono Trigger had a sequel. 2 of them. I don't know. Why are there so many Square Enix RPGs that a lot of people apparently like but I have never heard of? That is a mystery. Could I give examples of which ones could be remade? No. Then, moving on to another category, we have the kinda likely predictions. The things that might show up, but are not that likely. I think the first here is a new Fire Emblem game. We have been hearing some rumors about it and even some screenshots that I have not seen leaked online, apparently. I don't really know much about this game. I have not looked into it too much, but I know that there is apparently one coming up. And apparently it could be even fully finished, so that would be interesting. But I think they have not, talked about it at all because they have another Fire Emblem product they need to push, which is Fire Emblem Warriors, which might also get DLC announced here, so they might not still announce a new Fire Emblem because they need to still be selling the old one, so who knows. And I'm not even sure if Fire Emblem Warriors will get DLC. I think it is kinda likely. Hyrule Warriors had it. I think the first Fire Emblem Warriors had it. But at the same time, games like Persona 5 Strikers, I don't think had a lot of DLC added in later. Speaking of DLC, Mario Strikers also released recently, and I don't think there's going to be a big DLC pack. There's just going to be free updates that you're going to get to the game. But it would be interesting to see something from Mario Strikers in this Direct. Maybe Daisy gets added in after Direct. Could be fun to see. Who knows? I don't know. Okay, then also predicting that we will see Bayonetta 3 again. It has been a while since we have seen Bayonetta 3. I think we've just had one trailer for it, and it's supposed to come this year. So it would be nice to get a little bit more out of it, and then a release date. I don't remember if I said this in the beginning of the video, but we are still missing an October and December Nintendo game. So it would be interesting to see Bayonetta 3 releasing in October or December this year, if it's supposed to come out this year, which I do think it will. Also, another game that has been rumored is a GoldenEye remake, and this is a very interesting rumor because it's supposed to be a collaboration between Nintendo and Xbox. So I'm not really sure how it would work, but I would be interested in seeing it here. And it would also be very interesting to see it for the first time in a Nintendo Direct, even though it is also for the Xbox, apparently. That's the rumor. I do not know if it is true. Nintendo Directs, despite E3 or not, also have a strong indie presence most of the time. And I would like to see games like Tunic get added for or get into the Nintendo Switch console. And that would be cool. Other games I could see as well coming, maybe something like Friday Night Funkin'. I'm not sure if that is in any of the consoles, but it would be interesting to see. And yeah, then there is also most of the time like some big third party port for the Nintendo Switch to show like, hey, the Nintendo Switch can also do some things, maybe sometimes, and other times they're just a cloud version. But I think interesting big games that could very well thrive on Switch that for some reason have not appeared there yet. I think one of those could be like The Sims. So The Sims is like the biggest PC game ever, and I think The Sims kind of gameplay would very well fit on the Switch. So that would be interesting to see. Other games I have been thinking about would be like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think, was for the Switch, but only a cloud version and only in Japan. I don't think it sold that well, so this might be a bit flimsy if it would come. If it did, it would probably be another cloud version, which is not really exciting. And then maybe something like a Far Cry game. I do not think any of those are on the Switch, so that would be an interesting addition to, the Nintendo Switch. But hey, there's one more game in the kinda likely category, which I'm not sure if it would be in the kinda likely category realistically, but I want to end this category with a big one, and that is, of course, Tomodachi Life. I do want Tomodachi Life on the Switch. I talked about it a couple of years ago. It was a year ago. That is one of my most viewed videos for some reason. Of course, I'm going to mention it here, and I do love the game, and I do want to see it on Switch someday. And we have had a lot of time since Animal Crossing wrapped up, so I think it is definitely a good time to release another popular life simulation game on the Switch. Now is the time, Nintendo. Please bring the Me Maker from Miitopia here, and the game will be perfect. That's all you need, basically. Okay, third category, which is the unlikely games, or just like wild predictions I have in my head for some reason. The first of all is Metroid Prime 4. Could this be the first time we see Metroid Prime 4? I think Metroid Prime 4 could be a very good, like, one of those final announcement trailers. Like, hey, there is one more thing we want to show you, and that would be a short teaser. And that would be a short teaser for Metroid Prime 4. Now, this is very unlikely in my opinion, but it would be good to see some signs of life that, hey, Metroid Prime 4 is still coming. Please don't forget that it is still coming for the Switch. And it would just be nice to see any updates on the game. I know it's only been a couple of years since the development restarted, and it is kind of unrealistic for me to ask for it. I'm not even really invested that much in Metroid, but it would still be very interesting to see and would be something very hype for the fan base. Another game that has recently been rumored a lot is Everybody's 1-2 Switch, a surprising sequel for 1-2 Switch, which was a game that no one really cares about. So I'm not really why they would make a new one, and apparently neither does Nintendo, because that game, according to rumors, was very bad, that Nintendo was kind of embarrassed even thinking about releasing it for like the $60 price. They were thinking about maybe like making it free, so then it wouldn't be such a big of a deal, or maybe they are just reworking it somehow. I do not know from what time period the rumor is from, but it might show up, and if it does, no one will be excited for it, but it will be a thing in the direct. Maybe they will rework it to be actually fun. That would be a good scenario for this one. Then I was thinking other third-party games that have not shown up on the Switch for whatever reason. And the first one I thought about was Yakuza games. They are one of the most popular franchises by Sega. And, for some reason, they have not shown up at all on the Nintendo Switch, at least that I know of. Yakuza 7, I think, was only for Xbox and PlayStation, and Yakuza 0 or some other games, Kiwami games, they're just a no-show on the Nintendo Switch. And I think could be a fun addition, and I do like those games. So it would be a fun thing to have on the Switch. Maybe have like a 1 to 3 collection, Yakuza 1, 2, 3 on the Switch, get a collection. Would be a fun addition. Then I was also think about Nier games, Nier Automata and Nier Replicant. I think that was the other game that is on the PlayStation 4. I think that was Nier Replicant called. Yes, that maybe. It would be fun to see those games on the Switch because 2B is a really popular character and Nier games are popular as well, so it would be fun. Now, last category, the no-shows. Things you might expect to be shown in a Nintendo Direct, but will probably not be there. The first one is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We just kinda had a trailer for it, so I don't think we need another one. It would be fun, but Pokemon Company also likes to, do their own thing and not necessarily showcase their trailers when Nintendo does because, they are technically a different company. Another thing that I know a lot of people would love to see is Persona 3, 4, and 5 on the Switch. It was recently revealed in like Xbox's showcase a couple of weeks ago that Personas 3, 4, and 5 would be coming to Xbox, Game Pass, and PC, and also PlayStation 5. But they didn't say anything about Nintendo Switch versions, which I think Persona 5 could be like one of the most requested games on the Switch, and they just have said nothing about it, and I think that trend will unfortunately continue. They will say nothing about it. Then I think we will also hear nothing from Kirby. I do not think we will get much Kirby and the Forgotten Land DLC. Star Allies did get a lot of DLC, but I'm not so sure of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Maybe there could be something, but for some reason I get the feeling that there's not going to be much. Another no-show would be Mario Party DLC. A lot of people want more boards added to Mario Party Superstars. I just don't see that happening I don't know, just get a feeling in my gut that that will not happen. And that is all. That is all my predictions for a possible Nintendo Direct next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any other thoughts or predictions you have, let me know down in the comments below. And I have nothing else to say here, so I'll just see you guys next time. Bye bye.